Hi there, welcome my friend, welcome to Homekeepers. So glad to be with you today. Hope things are going really great in your own home and that you understand the value of being a home keeper. I want to get right to the chase this morning because my guest has such a story. I want you to hear every single detail. As a matter of fact, he will be on the next show as well. His name is Eddie Anders, musician who has worked in the circles of both Christian and secular music, a very gifted musician, Christian worship leader, all of these things, but he wrote a book called Waking Up Dead. It deals with suicide. It deals with hopelessness. It deals with the lies that the enemy can give to you. And I really do not want you to miss one word he has to say on this program and also the next one, so make note of that. And I'm going to join Stephanie. We're going to make a South Carolina cobbler. Now, the people in the South know how to cook. Let me tell you that. I married a preacher from Arkansas, and when I got into his home and his mama could cook things like you wouldn't believe, I had never experienced such a thing. So I think when you put a southern state with a recipe, you can be pretty assured that it's going to be great. We'll taste it and let you know. Before I join Stephanie, though, I've been going through the closet. Do you ever do that? Just something about getting it all cleaned out. We have a few of these Hallelujah Diet books, just a few. And they're by Dr. George Malcolmus. He's been a guest on the program. We offered him for more in the past for this program only, and possibly tomorrow for $20. We're offering you the Hallelujah Diet. When they're gone, they're gone. Oh, we're offering for $15. Pardon me. For $15, you can use our credit card, 1-800-229-0059, or the address of Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And you better take advantage of it because when they're gone, they're gone. And Stephanie, I slashed the price more than I thought I did.
That's
kind of half price right there.
No, 15. It's on
Yeah,
special.
Whatever. Stay tuned. It might go down.
It might go down.
Yeah. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, as we make this program, it's January, but with frozen peaches, they're pretty close to the fresh. So
Sure.
I'm not into canned peaches that much, but I thought I can go with frozen.
No, frozen. It was great. It worked
Okay.
out great. Okay, so you have 1/3 of a cup of butter that we melted. You can just pour that in there. I
Okay.
have 4 cups of peaches that were frozen that we thawed. Now, it called for a cup of sugar.
We always cut that back.
I cut it in half. So you're doing 1/4 cup of sugar in the peaches and 1/4 cup of sugar in the mix. Because that was just too much. It was just too much.
Yeah.
And then I have almond extract.
Ooh, that'll give it a little
1/2 teaspoon
Yep.
of almond extract. So you just mix those 2 things up. If you want to do, just mix those up.
Yeah, and you know, when you have time, this kind of thing you want to hang out a little bit.
Yeah, I have
think.
3/4 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder with a pinch of salt.
But have you noticed the cobbler recipes in recent years are so much easier than the way my mama used to do
this
them?
is ridiculous.
It's like you put the dough on the bottom.
Yeah, I have
and then
the
it
other,
all works out.
Yep, the other 1/4 cup of sugar, and then I have 3/4 cup of milk. I'm going to mix all these dry ingredients together, and then I'm just going to put this milk in. Like, this is so simple.
Yeah.
So simple, and it's so delicious. So 3/4
Yeah,
cup
and if
milk.
it's not peach time, just go to your freezer.
Yes. It's super. That's why you can have everything you
It seems
need
like
in your home.
it seems like the peach season's pretty short.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah,
We
and
don't need this, do we?
No.
Okay.
And frozen peaches are good in cobbler. They'll work out great. So we have the 1/3 cup of melted butter on the bottom of the pan. This is how super simple this is. Get this mixed together till
Anybody
it's
can
smooth.
do this.
You can do this. Anyone. A lot of people say, I can't cook. You can, I promise you.
Do you know what? We got the sweetest letter from a viewer, an email. Want to know if we wear wigs?
I've been asked that in a store before. Twice. Once in a store and once in a restaurant. People want.
Can you feel that?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, that's not a
People
wig.
want to know if I had a wig on. I do not wear a wig, and neither does Arthelene Rippy.
No, years and years ago, when I think when Jackie Kennedy wore wigs and somebody found out about it, I had one, but boy, they're not comfortable.
No, so you just pour this right over the top of the butter. You're not stirring.
Maybe
okay?
they've made them a lot lighter weight or something now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're not stirring. Okay. And then you're just simply pouring the peaches right over the top of that. And the peaches were mixed with the sugar and the almond extract.
And it bakes quite a long time.
Almost an hour.
Let's see.
Almost an hour. What do you need?
It's the
Oh,
ice
see, look, I was busy the whole time, so I didn't get the ice
Okay,
cream out.
we got
Sorry.
ice cream.
She said, while I'm talking, get the ice cream out. But I was talking too, so.
Yeah. All right, let's make this a little bigger.
Okay, let's make it a little bigger. Okay, let's get some ice cream.
There you go.
We didn't have an ice cream gate this time. There's ice cream in here.
Yep, no one took it. All right.
Okay, truth be told, no one took it last time when we
I
lost
know
our
it.
minds. Okay,
Somebody
let's
just messed with it.
Yeah,
That's,
well, she was just being nice, and
she got it ready for us.
got it ready for us, and we weren't paying attention.
Oh, my. Tastes like summertime. It's awfully good.
You can't beat that for how easy this is to make.
Yeah, and I wonder how quickly our crew will be in here.
This is a, you want this
This
one,
is a
trust me.
crew
Super
running down the
simple.
hallway.
You can have all this stuff in your house. If guests show up, you can whip it up. Super
All
easy.
right, and the recipe's free. That information is coming up on your screen. We'll be glad to get it to you when you request it. And I really am anxious for you to meet my guest. An amazing, amazing story, but there's so much truth that's adapted to our lives, so stay with us.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
Well, I've been talking shop with this gentleman ever since he arrived. He's an awesome musician. We'll get into that in a minute. And I have a background in music, and it's instant connection, isn't it? Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks for the invite.
So glad to have you.
Thanks.
And when I read about your life in music, which is still going on, my question is, who have you not worked with? Everybody famous, you.
It's been a lot of fun, and I've been blessed to work with a lot of diverse musicians. So it's been a great career, and I'm very thankful for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and both in the secular and the Christian realm, you've really worked with a lot in the Christian realm.
Yes.
And now you do sing, right?
I do.
Okay. And what instruments do you play?
Principally keyboards, but bass and guitar. Played French horn.
No
quite
kidding.
A while. Yeah, that was my goal when I was even in high school and beginning in college. I wanted to be an orchestral director. Yeah, that's where my goal was to conduct a symphony. So
I went to the symphony 2 nights ago.
did you? Yeah.
I can't tell you how much I love the French horn. You know, when you hear an arrangement and then that French horn comes out, it's just.
Yeah, it always
Into heaven.
announces something grand, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
That's the way it feels.
Yeah. That's not what we're here to talk about, though, so
No.
stay with us.
Well, right.
We're here to talk about his book, Waking Up Dead. And it's a page-turner. It's going to be very, very hard for you to lay it down. We'll be putting up his website. You can get it through that. I'm sure you can get it through Amazon and
That's right.
any number of outlets. I'm just going to ask you to tell the story. What does it mean to wake up from the dead? Because you really did.
Yeah. Well, I use that title because the idea is that I woke up dead to the old and alive to the new. I grew up in church. I was in church all my life. It's kind of all I ever knew. I started singing in church when I was 4 or 5 years old, you know, like kids do. But then I think my dad always lived vicariously through me. He loved quartet music, and I grew up around all that. He was what we called a weekend warrior, so he had a full-time regular job, but they had a quartet that would travel on the weekends. And so I grew up around the Spear family and the Goodmans and all those people. So they were in my life forever. And that's kind of, early on, that's all the music I knew. And growing up, as I discovered a lot of other things, but I basically came to a personal, really, knowledge of Jesus in my own life in high school, and I discovered this relationship with God, vibrant and personal, about the same time I discovered the music of Andre Crouch.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. And of course, the band Chicago was a big influence on me musically. But you put all that together, and I knew, okay, I want to minister to people through music. And it was the infancy of what we call contemporary Christian music. So that's my kind of my early background. Then I ended up being on the road for years, and well, still am essentially. But it was full on, and with Truth and Gaithers and Daybreak. The group Daybreak was from here in Florida, Titus.
Yeah, I've heard of
Park
them.
Avenue, yeah. So I spent years and years doing that kind of thing. I was also on staff as a worship leader in some churches, Colorado, Iowa, the Carolinas, and most recently in Wyoming. And it was during those days that I kept growing up as singing for God's people. I was taught as a kid to kind of the idea that you don't really perform, but you work from the outside in rather than the inside out. It's like if you do A, B, C, D, this list of things, and you had to look the part and dress the part and could speak it, memorize it, jump through all the hoops, God would be pleased with you. That was the basic premise.
So that was kind of what you believed and what you lived. There was a point, though, where you began to unravel, I would say.
Well, that line I mentioned about performing for people is crucial in this story, because in the 90s, I built a place in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee called Eddie's Heart and Soul Cafe. We became number one in the Smoky Mountain region, won all kinds of awards. We wanted to be in Atlanta and Fort Lauderdale. We wanted to have like 8 locations, and it looked like it was working that way. Very long story short, that's why it's in the book, but I lost that in a very, very ugly partnership struggle. Nancy and my wife and I were only 30% equity partners. So the battle ensued. They saw a gold mine. They didn't know that the gold mine was, if it was a gold mine, the success was based in the anointing of God on our lives, and we were serving our purpose and what God had ordained. So when I lost that, I wasn't angry at anybody else. It wasn't destructive to me because they took my name off the sign, but it was a deep-seated spiritual thing. I felt like a failure. It was almost like, Moses getting up to the edge of the promised land and not being able to go in. I actually went in and had to leave, I mean, it was everything I ever dreamed of.
Was that kind of a genesis that began
yeah, that's
going downward?
My depression and the eventual suicide attempt was based in event-driven. It was event-driven depression. I didn't deal with bipolar issues or wasn't given to depression. I was the basic artist melancholy kind of guy. You were either way up or way down. It was hardly ever anywhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty. I had a high work ethic and a lot of energy and a lot of life. So I was the life of the party, so to speak, when you walk in the room. And so for me to become depressed after that, it was awful for me, and it got worse and worse. And I performed for my family and for the church. A friend of mine in Louisiana took me on a staff to come heal up and kind of get my feet back under me. And during those days, I wrote new music. I did some of the best things I'd ever done. I was doing a lot of concert work. I made a new record. Everybody thought I was fine. Gaither invited me out to sing on some homecoming things, and he thought, we've been worried about you, but looks like everything's fine. And all the while on the inside, it was getting worse.
And no one knew, not even your family knew what was going on?
My family knew that I wasn't what I used to be,
Yeah.
and that I was struggling, but they did not know I was becoming self-destructive.
Well, when does a thought of suicide, I just want to say this. I personally have been to the dregs of sorrow. I have cried so much, I didn't know the body had that many tears.
Wow.
I've been surprised I woke up in the morning.
Yes.
But never thought of taking my life. Yeah. That's a whole other story.
Well,
when did it first occur to you?
After I had left the cafe and was in Louisiana for about a year, I had ruptured diverticulitis, gallstones, and appendicitis all at once.
Did you have physical problems too?
That battle in Tennessee had resulted in basically my insides exploding. I had internalized the struggle so much. And somewhere as I went through the process afterwards, that I began to, I just cursed my life every day. And I didn't do it, like I said, I didn't take it out on anybody else, my wife, my kids, my peers. But I would mumble to myself, you know, all the loser stuff, or you drop the keys, or you're just an idiot. I mean, after God rescued me from myself, I did this inventory as I began to heal up and rewire my head and my heart. God began to do that, and the Spirit began to lead me out of that place. As I took inventory, I realized how many times I had to stop myself from saying negative things, you know. So it really is important what we speak. It's out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks, and even more important when you hear
You're speaking to yourself.
Speak. Yeah, and you say that stuff over, you're pronouncing, you know, it's blessing or curse, you know, the power of the tongue, you know, there's life and death in that.
Yeah, and the power of the thoughts.
I was a victim, I think, of my own curse.
Because this is so out of the box to think of taking your own life.
Sure.
How far from the time you first kind of got the idea until you performed it?
Probably about 3 years, I would say.
3 years.
3 years.
Because, well, I'm sure that some people do it on an impulse, but reading your book, you planned this thing like you were planning your daughter's wedding. I mean, it was so meticulous, and got to do. It seems like you covered all the bases to keep it covered.
I did, yeah.
Your idea was to go to another town.
A city, a large city.
And you went through a process of elimination as to which town to go to, because you had so calculated everything. In other words, you were intent on doing this.
I wanted to be a needle in a haystack, so there would be no chance of me being found until it was too late. And I really thought, it's not cliche, it almost sounds like it is, but I really thought I'd come to a place where I thought Nancy and my kids would really be able to move on.
They would be better off
without.
Yeah.
You hear that said.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you cross that line. I don't know where in there and why you think that way. People ask me, you know, I tried to reach out to a friend of mine one morning in a prayer group, and I said, I think I'm becoming self-destructive. He said, why would you want to take your own life?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be you. And that's what it looked like from the outside. I mean, I was a teaching pastor and a worship leader in a church that was, you know, I'd go out and lead worship for 2,000 people and go to my office and look for ways to self-destruct. Because I wanted to do it with a little bit of dignity and grace, not something that would traumatize anyone else.
Oh, yeah, I want to be classy.
Else. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out about, you know, Ambien had killed people with as few as 10.
Yeah. If you just joined me, this spine-tingling story, I'm talking to Eddie Anders, and he is the author of Waking Up Dead, and we're barely scratching the surface on this story, but I want you to hear it to the very, very end. There's no reason in the world that he should be alive and sitting here with me today because of the wonderful grace and miraculous power of our God. In the time we have left, I want you to kind of recount the steps you took. And it seemed like you were kind of in touch with God.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. Okay, God, I'm going to take my life. And it's almost like inspire me as to the way I should do it. So you chose a city because of the airport or because of the accessibility. And you, getting rid of a cell phone, you even broke up your laptop?
I did. I trashed it, put it in a dumpster.
This is incredible. It was it was a Mac, wasn't it?
It was.
You don't do that to a Mac.
I know. I've apologized to Apple.
And so you crush that and you go to
I had $400 in cash that I had received doing a couple of funerals, singing at those. And so I checked
That's morbid right there.
I know. I thought it's kind of funeral money, my own funeral money.
Yeah.
So I had thought about it for a long time. Probably for 3 or 4 months, I had kept a bag packed in the back of my car. And the Ambien, I took 200 of them with me because I was on 2 a day since that surgery I'd had back in 2001. Because I taught myself in the 90s not to sleep. That was a problem. I mean, I slept about 3 hours a night. So yeah, I had those with me, checked into that hotel, and on Thursday afternoon, took the first bottle.
A whole bottle of Ambien.
I had already taken 2 bottles of Dramamine and about a half a dozen Phenergan, which is kind of high-powered anti-nausea meds that they, at the time, it was the number 1 kind of anti-nausea stuff they give you in surgery or for if you're on medication and make you ill. So I didn't want the Ambien to come up. So I thought, okay, anti-nausea meds. So yeah,
I mean, the detail of this is amazing.
Yeah, it was very much premeditated, and nobody knew. Nancy was used to me going to my office at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, because I'd go in and arrange and write and do things like that early in the morning. And you said you were in connection with God. You know, I was writing some of the best worship stuff I'd ever written. I was really attempting to, with God, to climb my way out of this hole. But it had gotten so deep, and I felt so, the line is, I think I just got tired of being me, because the pretense, even though I was authentic in my search for God and my devotional life, I read the Bible constantly. I mean, marking it, underlining it, doing studies, praying. I didn't give up anything. I was still engaged, but it was like, I described it as like being right in the center of all that God is doing, a growing, vibrant church and a growing, vibrant ministry, and yet I was somehow encased in some glass cylinder. God was swirling all around me, but it was like I couldn't touch it anymore. And I had disqualified myself from that.
What about the attack of the enemy who lies?
That's right.
I mean, he lied to you.
Yes, he did. I bought into that, because it was just that he's the accuser.
Yeah, I'm not worthy.
Comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So it was constant, a constant barrage. And then I got in such a habit, like I said a few moments ago, of speaking this negative, self-loathing kind of thing, because it just, and then the last straw was when, at age 50, as the worship leader, I was the oldest guy on staff at this church.
That's a bummer.
All the other guys were mid-30s and down, and they called me into the office one day, and the music ministry was thriving, and the church was growing, like exploding, and you know what that kind of vibrant growth is like, and that's what we were in, that fastest growing church in Iowa. And they called me in the office and said, literally, this is not like something I figured out they were trying to say. They said to me, "You're too old to be relevant anymore, and we want you to work behind the scenes and not on the platform." So
that is awful.
So
that takes my breath away.
Yeah.
What kind of a minister would do that?
Well, they were taking all their cues, like so many do. They'd go to this and that conference, and it was all about the young guns.
Yeah, because we're talking about one of the finest professional musicians you could find for that kind of music. But you know what? We're out of time. However, Eddie's going to be on the next program. Don't miss it, because we're going to tell you why he's still here. Mm-hmm. That's important. And also some facts and some information. I learned from him that it's the white males in America that are the most likely to commit suicide. We need to look at some of these things. So stay with me. Have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye. Mm-hmm.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, he will be on the next program. I do want to remind you of the fire sale we're having. As we're cleaning out the closet, we have a few of these books left by Dr. George Malcolmus, and slash the price to $15, and that even includes your shipping and handling. I'm telling you, that is a bargain. So the information's on your screen, and we will send them out as long as the supply we have will last. I really want to encourage you to not let anything get in the way of seeing the remainder of my conversations with Eddie Anders. He will be on the next program, and I can give you a little preview. Obviously, he wasn't successful with the suicide, but when you hear the rest of the story, my friend, and a very large part played in this, and one of the reasons he's with me is because of Christian television. I really want you to hear it. So if you're not around at the right time, you can set your DVR, whatever it is, that you can maintain the programs that you're away from the home at the time. It's very important. Not only that, it's the theology that's interspersed through this. It is solid as it can be. And one great thing for you to realize, if you're sitting there thinking you're a loser, you might be thinking of taking your life, or the thought has crossed your mind, depression and all, those are lies of the enemy. Just understand, the Bible says he's the father of lies, biggest liar ever. And he can tell you these things long enough, as he did to my friend Eddie Anders, until you will take action. Now, on the other side, what he did learn through this process are things that are so important, and that's your words, what you speak, your thoughts. Bible says that Jesus has come that you would have life and have it more abundantly. God doesn't want you to take your life, no matter what the enemy is telling you. As the enemy told Eddie, you know, the family would be better off without me, and all of those things that are old news. Satan has no good news. He has no new news. Same lies over and over again. So let me say this. I've got just a couple seconds. If you're very discouraged, you know where that comes from? Satan. If you're disillusioned, if you're depressed, if you're discouraged, if you look down the road and you see no hope at all of that is from the father of lies. And you need to learn those positive words that Jesus has for us. He wants you to have life abundantly. Boy, I like that word, don't you? Well, we are out of time, but I hope that next time we're on the air, you will join me. And remember, my friends, I say it all the time, and I believe it. There's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.